Good morning, everyone. So guys, in this video, I'm going to explain and break down to you guys what these mysterious drones are exactly. Don't listen to anybody else. Everybody else is wrong unless they're saying exactly what I'm saying. Guys, listen, literally go through my track history, go through my videos. I give you guys predictions. I tell you what things are. I tell you things that are happening. I tell you what things are months and months and months before the mainstream even considers what I'm saying. Guys, listen, sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I think, wow, Sean, your genius is on another level. So, I'll give you my two working theories. I'll tell you what they are. I'm going to tell you why. Again, it's kind of like a magic trick. Once you understand why, they lose all their magic straight away. And I do apologize if I'm losing magic. Guys, listen, before we get into this video, let me caveat this. I want these so much to be aliens. I want this to be some sort of alien incursion. I want to see the little green men. I want all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, the truth is far more devastating. So let's just get in with it then, guys. We're going to say why the frequencies can't be detected. We're going to tell people what they are, although I've already said in previous videos. And I'm going to explain to you guys why New Jersey and why now. So just before we get into this, guys, don't forget to hit the buttons down below, the like, subscribe. There's a bell down there. And let me just show you guys a quick video that I will explain, and we'll talk about the frequencies first. So let's short video here. Let me make this big.
White House is projecting a message of calm, but not giving much explanation for why calm is warranted. Tonight, the U.S. government isn't even analyzing its own video or images of these drones, which are operating on a frequency that local investigators say they can't detect.
So did you hear that, guys? Just
once. The White House is projecting a message of calm, but not giving much explanation.
So she talks about the frequencies here, and she's talking about the frequencies that nobody can identify, the frequencies that these drones operate on. And I'm going to burst everybody's bubble now, and I'm going to show you how stupid everybody else is, apart from me and you.
For why calm is warranted. Tonight, the U.S. government isn't even analyzing its own video or images of these drones, which are operating on a frequency that local investigators say they can't detect.
So local investigators say they can't detect the frequency that these drones are operating on. The U.S. government are not investigating this. This all makes perfect sense. So I'll go into the frequency, guys. If you've seen my previous videos on what these drones are, I'll go into the frequency. And then if you've not watched my previous video on what these drones are, I will quickly talk about what these drones are afterwards. And then I'll talk about why New Jersey and why now. So here, if you can see that, I have got an IP CCTV camera. This is a pan tilt zoom one, so I can pan it, and I can tilt, and I can zoom the lens, all with my phone once this is connected to the internet. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about how these drones are connected, but normally drones are controlled via a radio frequency, and that radio frequency will be controlled by a ground station, and that ground station will have a little man with a controlling device, whether that's a VR headset or a controller and a computer screen. There's various different models. Now, everybody's trying to search for the radio frequency, but guess what? There isn't a radio frequency. Why? Because they're operating on Starlink. They're using the Starlink low Earth orbit satellites to communicate. So, for example, how this thing's attached to the internet, and I can move left, right, up, down, and zoom. There's no difference in the little technology in here than what we would need on a drone that was connected to the Starlink internet system. So rather than moving left or right in real time, which you all know how that technology works, you've probably got one on your phone or your Ring doorbell or something. Once this thing is connected to the internet, rather than moving left and right, you can be moving ailerons and rudders. You can be, pitching the engine up, pitching the engine down. You can be yawing. You can literally control drones if you can attach them to the internet. So all these small drones would need is a small device in the top that can connect that to the Starlink. Is it a constellation? Yeah, the Starlink satellite systems, basically, that give the internet connection to people all over the world. Guys, from day one, week one, I said this, this Starlink satellite system. Straight away, I said, listen, this is a backup military system. It's a backup for GPS. It's it's a way that they can get a military system in the sky, and people can make money off it. And it ticks all those boxes. So, in short, why can't the frequency? They're using a frequency that cannot be detected. No, they're not. They're using the satellite system. And the reason I should have brought a little plane in. Oh, there's one over there. So imagine my hand as the plane. People are trying to detect the signal from the ground, and they can't detect the signal from the ground because the signal's going up and down. It's virtually, you can't hack it. You can't hack it because it'd be virtually impossible to get in between the aircraft and the satellites, because there's so many satellites moving around so quickly. It's virtually impossible to be able to, it's virtually impossible to hack it. So that's why they can't be hacked, and it's why nobody can see the frequency. What are they? Well, I'll quickly run through real quick, guys, my two working theories. I discarded the first one and I've stuck with the second one. First theory is, there have been actual aliens seen over military bases, and the US military flooded the area with man-made drones to dilute the potency of those viewings, dilute the potency of those videos, discredit the videos that were out there in circulation. I discredited that theory because that would mean that I had to believe that there are aliens coming down here right now, right at this time. And again, that may be the case. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's more far-fetched than my second theory. My second theory is, and if you've been following this channel, guys, the United States is going to have a war with Iran around about March 2026. So if we use that as our consensus, and before that invasion goes in, the United States will have to do reconnaissance on Iran. You would use small drones that are low to the ground, that are easily produced, cheap. Doesn't matter if they don't come back; they can transmit these sensor readings. So how do you do that without the Iranians pointing the finger at the United States? Well, first of all, you have it done on your country initially, and you do this on a mass scale. You make it so that, when these drones are found over Iran and they're flying around and the Iranians are saying, oh, there's drones all over our military structures, all over our military bases, the US military can say, hey guys, yeah, we have the same problem as well. Good luck finding out what that is. So you see why that is, and that's what I feel these drones are. It's a psyop because there's going to be a war with Iran around about earliest March 2026. So why New Jersey? Guys, I'm going to keep this real short. I'm going to do another video later on Ukraine and the situation out there, and I'm going to tie all this together. So why New Jersey and why now? Well, let's have a quick, where are we? I think this is the one. Yes, it is. So obviously you've got the mystery drone spotted over New Jersey, Staten Island. So this is kind of where the majority of these sightings have been reported. Now the main thing to note here is this big area of blue stuff. This is the key area here, the blue stuff. The blue stuff's what's important, all right? So why is this not Las Vegas? Why is this not somewhere inland? Because of the blue stuff. Now, let me stop that. Those of you who've been watching the videos, again, I've explained why the United States has to. I'll just go through it real quick, okay? The United States has to invade Iran by March 2026 because the United States are the only ones that can do it. They're the only ones that can invade Iran. They're the only ones with the logistics, the amphibious capacity, the ships, the aircraft. The United States don't need help off Europe. They don't need help off anyone else. They've got that capacity to do that themselves. That's why I've said, like over a year ago, you're going to see these diversions now where the United States are going to stop funding. They're going to leave. They're not going to bother about the situation in Ukraine, and they're going to focus on the Middle East, which is what you're going to see in the next coming months. So if we understand this and we know that the United States are going to do an amphibious assault, let's just quickly look at Iran on the. Let's just have a quick look at Iran on a map, and I'll show you exactly why these things need to come from the sea. So if you look at Iran here, like realistically, if you think, Iran is a lot bigger than Iraq. In 2003, it was an invasion. The invasion of Iraq used around 600,000 troops. Now, Iran is bigger, but let's just go with that number, 600,000. All the way here, we need to get all the way up here to Tehran. There's literally nowhere you can get in that region without coming up the Gulf of Oman. Obviously, to do that, you're going to have amphibious landing craft. It's going to have to be from the sea. There isn't any other way of doing it. Just conceptualize the amount of food, water, ammunition you need to sustain 600,000 soldiers. So this is where the invasion is going to come from, this south coast. I would say it's going to, I don't want to speculate where it's going to come from, but I would say it would be, they're not going to exploit too far up here. I'd say they'd get a foothold at the earliest opportunity. Now, obviously, to do that, they're going to have to come from the sea. So what better way to practice your own, to rehearse your own kit and equipment, to rehearse your own drone capacity than New Jersey, because of its location on the sea, flying drones inland from the sea. You're doing your military exercise then is twofold. First of all, it's the psychological warfare, and second of all, it's practicing getting your drones out of the craft that are just under the water, then being able to fly them inland an amount of, for amount of hours, then fly them back out to the sea and land them back into the craft. Guys, that is what I feel the drones are. That's, and all the and all the further information that's coming out, it just gives weight now to my working theory, and all these things that the people are saying, oh, we don't understand the frequencies they're operating on. It's the frequencies non-detectable to US military equipment. Yeah, because they're not using RF. They're using satellite uplink and downlink. They're using Starlink as a communication system. Now, it's very interesting. Well, it's very telling that Elon Musk's not come out and made a public speech about this, because he's involved. He knows what's happening. He's probably somebody at SpaceX have probably developed a little chip, a non-attributable chip that can connect these drones to the Starlink system. Remember, when these drones fly over Iran, they are going to have to be 100% non-attributable. So if they are downed by the Iranians, then there are going to be no parts, no pieces on there that say this is from SpaceX California or wherever. I think they're in Austin now, actually. None of these parts are going to be attributable. So this is all going to be secret. It's all going to be under the table stuff. But guys, it's no further far-fetched than these exploding pagers. Now, one more thing I will say while we're talking about SpaceX, I've said from day one that all SpaceX, everything that SpaceX has done is for the military industrial complex. So this Starlink satellite system is a backup military system. The heavy launcher booster that we're going to Mars with, absolutely not. That's the land troops in the middle of another country. Can you imagine now just imagine, if you will. I've got a can of energy drink over there. I could probably use that as that. I'm not sure if we're allowed to show energy drinks. Anyway, we won't do that. So can you imagine now the heavy lift? What is it? The Starship. The same time as the amphibious assault goes in, 10 Starships land in Tehran with full of US Marines, Delta Force, whoever, and they run out and they storm Tehran, and then you just have to join those two ends up. I don't think that Starship ever has any intention going to Mars, although Elon Musk may want to go to Mars. I think the real use of Starship is for to insert military troops. Remember, this is no further far-fetched than when the first people were wanting to parachute out of airplanes. Somebody had to come up with that idea, then those people had to think it was a good idea, and then they did it, and now it's just industry standard. Nobody's going to Mars until we've got a colony on the moon. Anyway, guys, that is the jux of the video. That is what the UFOs are. That is what the drones are. That is what the UAPs are. That's why they're not operating the frequency. That's why nobody can find the frequency that they're operating on. And that's why they're operating in New Jersey. And that's why they're operating now, guys. They're working towards that date of March 2026. Anyway, guys, I'm going to Mag to Grid. I'll get you guys another video later. Don't forget to like and follow and subscribe down below, guys. I'll speak to you soon.